Peace and blessings, beautiful people. Peace and blessings. This is Goddess Imani, and welcome to this episode of Sacred Love Lessons. Before we get started, let's take a deep breath to ground our energy. Inhale, exhale. Today, we will cover the pathway of the sovereignty frequency. The sovereignty frequency is the state of living as the fullest expression of your divine authority. It is where your energy, choices, and creations flow from an inner alignment with your goddess guide self. It is free from external control and grounded in self-honoring truth. It is a place of wholeness where your voice rings true and your presence transforms the world around you. Signs you're out of alignment with your sovereignty include: you are people-pleasing, over-explaining, and/or have chronic self-doubt. You experience energetic leaks through unspoken resentment or obligation. Energetic leaks may present as energy depletion. You feel exhausted or emotionally drained. Energetic leaks may also affect your health and well-being. You suppress your desire or censor yourself. You say yes when you really want to say no. You give into what others want and you override your own inner voice. You may experience the misalignment through mirror examples. Being told you don't know who you are, or you make things up. You may also feel you're under spiritual attack. Ask yourself, where in my life have I handed over my power for the sake of being liked, accepted, to fit in, to avoid something, to belong, or fear of losing something? Where in my life have I handed over my power for the sake of being liked, accepted, to fit in, to avoid something, to belong, or fear of losing something? If your soul was the only authority in your life, what would you choose for yourself today? If your soul was the only authority in your life, what would you choose for yourself today? So today we're going to cover the 5 elements of the sovereignty frequency. Number 1, awakening to your divine right. The first spiritual key is remembrance. It is knowing that you have always been whole. You remember that sovereignty is inherent, it is your sacred birthright, and rooted in the truth of who you are. The frequency hop is to go from external permission to internal attunement. Number 2, releasing illusions of power. The second spiritual key is liberation. You free yourself from all limitations that dim your light. You dissolve illusions that have overshadowed your inner authority, whether they are outdated beliefs, inherited fears, voices of limitation, misaligned relationships, places, and things. The frequency hop is to go from being shaped by others' expectations to shaping reality through your soul's alignment. Number 3, establishing sacred boundaries. The third spiritual key is foundation. This is the strength to stand in your truth with love. Some people may call it standing on business, but you're standing on business for yourself. You align with energetic structures that honor your time, your space, and your essence. These boundaries are a part of your living altar that shape the flow of your life force energy. This frequency hop is to go from reactive defense to proactive sovereignty. I'll give you a real life example. For the reactive defense, this is the example. Leilani works as a wellness coach. Brittany, a longtime acquaintance, messages Leilani late at night asking if she can meet early the next morning to quote unquote pick her brain about starting a coaching business. Leilani feels pressure to say yes because she doesn't want to seem unhelpful. She rearranges her morning routine to accommodate Brittany. When they meet, Brittany takes more time than expected and doesn't offer any exchange or follow-up commitment. Result: Leilani feels drained and resentful. She made the decision reactively in response to Brittany's urgency without checking her own capacity or alignment. She said yes to avoid conflict or disappointment. Then she felt depleted. Now, the other end of this spectrum is the proactive sovereignty. Weeks later, Brittany reaches out again with a similar last-minute request. This time, Leilani is grounded in her sovereignty frequency practice. Before responding, she checks her calendar, her energy, and her priorities. She sends Brittany a warm message, quote, "I'd love to explore your ideas together. My next available time is Thursday at 2 p.m. We can use that hour for a focus session. My consultation rate is $150 and I'll send you the booking link." By setting clear terms up front, Leilani ensures her time and energy are honored while offering Brittany a structured way to receive her expertise. The result: Leilani feels energized and in control of her schedule. The decision came from her inner alignment, not external pressure. She led with clarity, setting the terms and making the decision from vision and self-respect. Number 4, embodying inner authority. The fourth spiritual key is command. This is where you use the voice of your higher self to create your reality. This is your inner voice of I am. I love my I am voice. You step into an energy of unwavering self-trust. Choices arise from your deepest wisdom rather than fear, guilt, or external demand. This frequency hop is to go from seeking guidance outside of yourself to leading from within and following your own inner authority. This one was a really big one for me, you guys. For a long time, I had always looked outside of myself because I was raised like that. I was raised in the Pentecostal church, and God was always presented as an outside being, outside energy. And it took a long time to realize that God was within me, that I am God, right? And so I would go to like counselors, I would go to conferences, I would go to gurus, I would go to people who I thought had the answers, asking them about what I should do. You know, a lot of these people didn't even know me. How could they even advise me on what I should do for me, right? So that was a lesson, a sacred love lesson that I had to learn. Number 5, expanding your sovereign presence. The fifth spiritual key is stewardship. This is where you be the light as a blessing for the world. Your sovereignty radiates beyond your personal sphere, inspiring others to rise in their own divinity. You move as a living example of empowered freedom. This frequency hop is to go from individual sovereignty to collective empowerment. So what happens when you are vibrating in the sovereignty frequency? 5 signs that you are aligned with the sovereignty frequency. 1, you have inner compass clarity. You are divinely guided and make choices in alignment with your soul path. Now let's be clear here. This will not look like a straight line. I love straight lines. To me, that is the shortest distance between 2 points, is to go in a straight line. Life doesn't work like this. It is not linear. Learning is not linear. If you are an abstract thinker, you will understand this concept clearly, because life will take you all over the place The good thing about it is that being in tune to the sovereignty frequency, being in tune with your higher self, you will have divine guidance and you will be able to make moves in alignment with that divine guidance. It will not always feel good. Let me tell you, sometimes there will be times where you will feel fear. Okay. Sometimes there will be this uncertainty. You won't know all the answers right away. Remember that scene in what's that movie with Harrison Ford where he was like the explorer? I can't think of the name of the movie. If you know it, put it down in the comments, where he had to do the faith walk. It was like the clue told him to go from point A to B, but if you looked, it looked like just a drop off a cliff. And he had to exercise his faith and just take a step of faith. And once he did that, he took one step out to what looked like open space. But once he did that, the bridge appeared. Well, that's how this works. You have to step out on faith. And it doesn't always feel good. It doesn't always look good. You have to tune out your physical body senses. You have to tune out the noise of the world. You have to turn off, silence the voices, external voices that may be coming from family and friends. And you have to tune into what your soul, your higher self, you are the soul. You have to tune into your higher self to hear what you are saying to you. Okay? Number 2, you know you are in alignment with the sovereignty frequency when you have energy integrity. Your vitality flows toward people, projects, and places that honor your essence and who you are. This is one barometer that I use to know whether or not I'm in alignment. If I'm in a place where people are disrespecting me, where I am being devalued, where people are being dismissive toward me, people are smear campaigning me, running my name in the ground, gossiping about me, then I know that is an indication that I am not in energy integrity and that I need to move away from that. Okay? Whether it be with family, because I've had that in my family. They don't know that I know that they were running me down, but I do know. Yes, I know. If you're listening, I know you guys. I just love them anyway, but I love from a distance. It might be a friend group. I've had that to happen in a social group where I thought I was part of a loving and kind community. But then I learned that these people, it was revealed to me that these people were like running me in the ground. They didn't even like me, and I didn't know that. I didn't really know that at first. I've had it in relationships, people that I've been in romantic relationships where they didn't like me. And it took me a while to figure that out. But then I did. And once I did, then I moved accordingly. So, energy integrity. Number 3, you have sacred boundaries. You align with peace without creating walls of separation. And what this looks like in real life is that you love people from a distance. Those are sacred boundaries. I'm not going to allow myself to be disrespected, dishonored, discredited, devalued, and then discarded. No, we're not doing that over here, right? So you have sacred boundaries where you love people from a distance. Of course, your life is different and it will look different for you. Number 4, you have creative autonomy. You shape your life as a conscious expression of your highest vision. I'll read that again. You have creative autonomy. You shape your life as a conscious expression of your highest vision. For a long time, like I would go to conferences and things like that. And, I put these people on a pedestal. I admired them. I valued what they said. I valued the information and the wisdom that they were sharing. And oftentimes, like I would read all their books and things like that. I did all the programs. I really heavily invested, financially, monetarily in these people in the program to invest in myself. I have no regret of going through that process because I needed to go through that process in order to get me where I am today. Okay. One thing that I did during that time is that I saw myself or heard myself parroting what other people were saying. It was only when I pulled away from everything, and I retreated within myself, sat in stillness within myself, and got in tune with my goddess God self, that I was able to hear my own voice, my own inner voice, that I was able to tap into my own inner authority. And once I did that, the stuff, when I went back and listened, some of it I didn't even agree with what the person was saying. I realized that. And I was out of alignment. And then some of it was still really good information, but I had found my own truth, okay, through my process of self-discovery and spiritual frequency hopping, attunement. I found my own truth. So that's another thing. Number 5, you have liberating influence. Your presence naturally invites others into freedom, self-respect, and self-love. I remember this one person that I just really have so much love and respect for, right? And I would see her, and I just, she would always say she would feel the fear and do it anyway. But when I looked at her, all I could see was her light and her aura, and it was so beautiful. And I saw her level of boldness and how she was willing to go and travel and do and be. And I just saw that. I don't know how much of that was performative, but just when I was in her presence, I could feel her energy, and I knew that was real, right? I was tapping into her energy, and I knew that was real, and it felt so good. And I was like, she really inspired me to come out of the closet. She inspired me to just drop the mask and to be myself. And then I had always had this dream of traveling the world. I want to see the world, right? Even as a little girl, that was something that I always wanted to do. And I used to collect the National Geographic magazines, and I would look at those magazines, and I read a lot too, right? So I would read books, and I would just imagine myself in all these beautiful places. And then when I saw her, someone who looks like me, who was actually traveling to all these beautiful places, it really made me say, okay, let me get myself together. Let me put myself into position where I can do those things that I know I want to do. And I did. I traveled the world, man. It was amazing. It was amazing. So far, I've been over, I think, 23 countries so far. It's a lot for me. I've lived abroad. I've had residency in another country. I've traveled, like I said, to over 23 countries. And I've been to almost all the continents, right? And so it was just amazing. It was an amazing experience. It's something that, by watching her, it inspired me to get into this frequency. She had the liberating influence, and that was a big influence on my path, my journey, my story. And so now, me shining my own light, being in this liberating influence energy. I don't know if you guys remember, I'm not sure what episode. I think it was the Sapdep episode where I talked about being a soul doula and midwife. And there was a person that I was assisting. She was in end of life, and I didn't know how much my presence meant to her. For me, it was a labor of love, and I just wanted to be there to support her. And then when I left, she was upset by me leaving. That had never been expressed to me before. You know how some people, they out here, they stoic, right? You don't know what they're feeling. They don't express to you how they feel. And I wasn't tapping into her energy in that way. I was just in a place of, I'm just allowing my light to shine. I'm being a support. I'm being a strong voice, the strength that I knew she needed in that moment to just hold sacred space for her. So once I realized that my presence did matter, and I came into the understanding that yes, it does matter, whether the person tells you that or not, just that knowing, being in tune of the liberating influence that yes, it does matter. My presence matter. And even if the other person doesn't say anything, I know off top going into the situation that it does matter. Those are the 5 ways that you can tell whether or not you are aligned with the sovereignty frequency. Today I have a sovereignty frequency activation. Before we get started, let's take a deep breath so we can ground our energy into this frequency. Ready? Inhale, exhale. One more time. Inhale, exhale. Place your hand over your heart and repeat after me. I am the universe. I am the way, the truth, and the life. I am divine. I create my own reality. I am goddess. I am God. I am sovereign. I am free. I am the universe. I am the way, the truth, and the life. I am divine. I create my own reality. I am goddess. I am God. I am sovereign. I am free. I'll leave you with this final thought. You are the creator of your reality. The sovereignty frequency is the core of your soul in full alignment, where every choice becomes a declaration of your divine authority. Your truth guides every step and shapes the world you are destined to lead. You are the one you have been looking for. Rise in your truth and let your light transform the world. So that's what I have for you today. Thanks for listening to this episode of Sacred Love Lessons. I am the universe. Now what? Wherever you are in the world, don't forget to click the like, comment, and subscribe. And until we speak again, be the light.